Good evening, everybody. This is forecaster Zach Briscoe here at the Hazardous Weather Prediction Center, taking a look at the models once again for the storm next week. We're going to start off with the GFS first. We're just going to go over precipitation here tonight to go a little quicker. What the GFS does is it develops its storm over the Carolinas here, and then it takes it pretty much a track right up along the coast. And this would pretty much mean rain for a lot of people. Let's go for it in time here for you. 132, there goes the low. It's over top of southern Maryland. A lot of rain going on in northern Virginia, Maryland, and southern PA at that time, across Delaware. So we had a 132. There might be a little bit of snow starting to break out in southern New York and north central Pennsylvania. 138, low continues up. You're starting to get a little bit of snow in here, and that will continue as the low continues to push up there. But I don't think the GFS is right with its track. It starts the low off too far north, I believe. Let's take a look at some of the other models here. Next up is the European model. This did a different change from earlier today. Now it has a very weird track. It still has a low coming out of the south, but then for some reason on this run, it pops the low way out to the coast, off the coast into the Atlantic Ocean, and then it hooks it back up into New England. This looks like a classic convective feedback, which you usually don't see on the European model, but here it goes. 144. 150. Look at that. The low goes from sitting about right here to over here on this model, and somehow with the low pressure center still being way over the ocean, some light precipitation falling back to the mid-Atlantic states in the south northeast. So that looks very suspect there. And then next hour, you can see it's still spinning around, some light precip there. And then all of a sudden at 162, here it comes, it hooks back in, and poof, it's right off Cape Cod. It still has stretched out isobars down to the south, and then at 168 it makes its complete turn back around just off Cape Cod, and northern New England's getting smashed with heavy snow. This track just does not seem plausible, as the low starts here, goes way over here, and then curves back in like that. That does not seem like a plausible track. If we're going to get a track, it's probably either going to go off and up like that, or we're going to get it to go up along the coast like that. One last model to look at is the Canadian model. This is closer to what we're thinking is going to happen here. The UK Met model also agrees with this model, and on here we have a primary low that comes across, and then we have our secondary low developing down in the Carolinas. After that, boom, we get our secondary low to explode off the coast. Cold air pouring in there. This would have snow back into central PA, far western Maryland, West Virginia, in the northeast PA, southern New York, well northwest of DC. Probably only maybe like Hagerstown northwest on this run would probably be snow, with the rest east being rain. And then as we head into the next frame, heads on out there a little bit further, and parts of the south northeast and northeast are getting clobbered with some snow. So this is a little closer to what we're thinking right now. Of course, we are going to see many changes, but right now we're thinking the most likely track is going to take this storm something like that. But we can also see it do something like this, or just go out to sea. But at this point, the out to sea is starting to look a little less likely, with the either coming up the coast or going just off the coast becoming more likely. We'll continue to have these updates for you tomorrow, 12Z. Everybody, have a great night.